All right, so today we're going to talk about a totally new way of thinking about AI. This isn't just another software update. This is an entire architecture born out of a massive crisis, a crisis that taught everyone a hard lesson. You can't always trust the cloud. Let's get into it.
So let's set the scene. Imagine it's the year 2025. AI is just everywhere. It's like electricity. It's baked into everything. It's writing your emails, sorting through huge piles of documents, even running entire supply chains. We're all just completely used to it being there, humming away in the background.
But then, what happens when that socket just stops working? Well, back in 2025, the world found out the hard way. The huge major cloud AI services that thousands of businesses were leaning on, they just went down. Poof, gone. An entire company's ground to a halt. It was a massive wake-up call that the cloud, for all its power, wasn't invincible.
So that brings us to our first big topic. What happens when the cloud just disappears?
And look at this diagram here. It really nails the problem. This was the old way of doing things. You see how everything, all your services, your APIs, your local business stuff, it all had to go through that one single cloud gateway. I mean, we literally put all of our eggs in one giant, very shiny basket. And when that basket got dropped, well, the market learned a really painful lesson. The cloud is amazing, for sure, but resilient? Not so much.
So this whole crisis created a kind of collective PTSD for the industry. It gave rise to these new anxieties, these deep-seated worries. And from that moment on, any new AI solution had to have a good answer for what became known as the three big fears of AI.
And here they are. You've got failure, risk, and loss of control. And believe me, these aren't just buzzwords from a business textbook. Oh no, these were born from real companies getting seriously burned. These three fears basically redrew the entire map for how people thought about adopting AI.
So let's break them down. First up, the fear of failure. This is the most raw, the most immediate one. It's that gut punch question, what if the AI just vanishes right when I need it most? For a company in manufacturing or logistics, that's not just a problem, it's a full-blown catastrophe. Seriously, picture an automated warehouse, it's peak season, and the AI running all the robots just blinks out of existence. Suddenly, having an AI that keeps working no matter what isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's everything.
Okay, next up is the fear of risk. And this one is a legal minefield. As data privacy laws got stricter and stricter, companies started hitting these brick walls. You couldn't process a customer's passport or a new contract because that sensitive info would have to get sent to a cloud server in some other country. And boom, you're breaking the law. It was an absolute legal and PR nightmare. And that brings us to fear number 3, losing control. This is the one that gives CFOs nightmares. We're talking about cloud lock-in. You get stuck with one provider and suddenly you're facing these insane, unpredictable bills. Costs just spiral and you have no idea why. It's like having a blank check that someone else gets to cash at the end of the month. So, with all that fear and chaos as the backdrop, a new idea started to form. A solution, an architecture designed from the ground up to fight back against those three fears. And that, my friends, is where SynQ AI comes into the picture. And here it is, in the flesh, or, well, in the metal. Check it out. This is the SynQ AI device. It's not just another beige box server. This is a powerful edge hybrid device. It's built around this totally new philosophy for AI, and it's all wrapped up in this slick quantum graphite chassis. But the most important thing isn't the hardware, it's the idea inside, offline first. Okay, and offline first is a really big deal. You gotta understand, this isn't just a backup plan. It's not some kind of emergency mode. It is a complete 180 from the old way of thinking. See, most systems are designed to live in the cloud, and maybe, just maybe, they can kind of function locally if they have to. SynQ AI flips that script completely. It says, I live and work right here, locally, by default. The cloud? Oh, that's just an optional resource I'll tap into, but only if it makes financial sense. The whole model is completely upside down, in the best way possible. So how does it actually pull this off? Well, this whole offline-first idea is built on 3 core principles. And no surprise here, they line up perfectly with the 3 fears we just talked about. They are reliability, sovereignty, and economy. All right, principle number 1, reliability. This directly tackles that fear of failure. When you unplug this thing from the cloud, it doesn't freak out. It doesn't go into some crippled, degraded mode. Nope, it just keeps on trucking at 100% of its local power. And it's got serious power. We're talking 93 tops. That's trillions of operations per second, right on the device. Plus, it has 2 terabytes of super fast local storage. For this system, being offline isn't an emergency, it's just too. Second is sovereignty. And this is the genius solution to that whole data risk nightmare. It's actually really simple and elegant. Your sensitive stuff, the passports, the contracts, it physically never leaves the device, ever. All the heavy-duty AI processing happens right there, in the box. The only thing that ever gets sent up to the cloud is totally anonymous data. Like, hey, we processed 50 documents today. That's it. There's this fantastic quote that just sums it all up. We don't promise to comply with the law. We physically make it impossible to break it. Think about that for a second. It's moving trust from a piece of paper in the legal department to the actual engineering of the device. Instead of a promise, you get a physical guarantee. A data breach of the original file just can't happen.
And finally, principle number 3, economy. This is how it fights back against losing control of your costs. The device has what they call a built-in economist. This clever thing called the Cost Efficiency Index, or CEI. For every single task, it does a quick calculation. It asks, is it cheaper for me to do this work right here on my own hardware or to send it up to the cloud? Imagine you have 1,000 documents to process. The CEI figures out in real time if it costs pennies to do it locally versus dollars to do it in the cloud, and it automatically makes the smartest financial decision every single time.
Okay, so we've got a system that's reliable, it's secure, and it's smart with money. That all sounds great on paper, but can a normal person actually use it? Let's talk about the user experience and what this looks like in the real world.
The whole philosophy here is just simplicity. They call it ready to use, not ready to learn. The idea is to make it as simple as an office printer. You don't need a PhD in machine learning. You just plug it in, you send it a file, and you get your result back. That's it. And you can really see how powerful this is in some real-world examples. Take a small business, like a local law office. Someone snaps a picture of a client's messy, handwritten form, sends it to the SynQ AI box, and bam, a perfectly typed-up digital contract comes out. Internet connection? Doesn't matter. Or think about e-commerce. A local AI agent could handle almost all of the customer service questions about shipping 24/7, even if the office's internet completely dies for a whole night. But look, this isn't just about fixing the problems of the past. The whole architecture is designed to be future-proof. So let's take a peek at how SynQ AI is getting ready for whatever comes next. So when you see the phrase quantum ready, it doesn't mean there's some tiny quantum computer stuffed inside this box. What it does mean is that the system is built to plug right into quantum backends as soon as they're a real thing. That built-in economist we talked about, it'll just see this new, insanely powerful resource and go, yep, let's use that. Same thing for crazy future tech like orbital edge computing, doing AI processing on satellites in space. This device is already designed to be the perfect ground station for that. And for those who want to be a part of this, the project is launching with a few different ways to get involved. It's set up like a Kickstarter, with tiers ranging from being a digital supporter all the way up to a business pack with 5 devices and a private webinar with the founders. It's really an invitation to be there at the very beginning of this big shift in how AI works. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. For the last few years, we've all been amazed by the revolution in how we talk to AI. But what SynQ AI represents is a totally different kind of revolution, one that changes where AI lives and why it works. So which one do you think is going to be more important in the long run? The revolution that gave AI a friendly voice, or the one that gave it a foundation you can actually trust?